Let's Spoil. My name is Jeff Blagden.
I'm Sam Houpt.
And before we get into things today, I just want to backtrack a little bit, rewind to last time when we talked about Suicide Squad, just because I thought I owed it to it again to go see it with more of an unbiased outlook.
All right.
I got all my biases out of the way the first time, got that first impression down, decided I would go and give it a fair shot at another one. It still wasn't that good. It was better.
No kidding. Really?
It was better the second time. I have to say, when I threw out all of my hopes and dreams for the movie, it actually became a little bit more of a fun movie. Like, it wasn't as disappointing.
Now, you're being fair to the movie. Were you being fair to yourself?
I wasn't being fair to myself as in the love I have for the characters, but...
Do you think that a movie has earned you to throw out all your expectations to enjoy it?
Well, I mean, I only had to pay the Tuesday movie price because it was half price.
There you go. It's all worth it.
All week. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll see it again. And, yeah, I mean, there's still nitpicky things, but when you throw everything out and don't have any expectations going in, it's kind of a fun movie. Just, I still... The acting still gets me, and That's about it. But I thought I should clarify that. If you want to see it a second time, it gets better. Maybe a third time, maybe a fourth time. I wouldn't, but it's up to you.
Did you notice the lasers this time?
No, I noticed them from the clip you showed me afterwards, but I didn't notice them watching the movie again. I think they might have been laser sights. Like, I don't think they were actually shooting lasers.
I need closure, so I'm just going to take that.
Like, I really tried to notice them when watching it, but I just noticed the gunfire in that.
All right, I guess I'm crazy.
Maybe. Right. I don't know. I think maybe they were laser sights. But anyway, what we do on Let's Spoil is first we try to get into the big movies that played over the past week or however long it's been since the last show.
Yes.
And first we give a little bit of a vague outlook over them, and then we spoil the hell out of them. So...
If you don't want to be spoiled.
Spoiler warning.
There you go.
I know it says it in the title, but I'm still going to say it now, and I'll say it again later once we get into the spoiler part, so people don't rip me apart about not saying spoilers, because it happens. And it happened to me once on a football podcast, and someone got mad at me and emailed me. So, it can happen anywhere, despite the fact that it's in the name. Today we're going to be talking about a few of the movies that are in theaters right now, because... there's not one as big as Suicide Squad was last week. Well, not only as big as it was and as controversial as it was, but also there wasn't really much else playing.
True.
So it was kind of...
I think Jason Bourne was playing at the same time.
Yeah, but who's going to review a Jason Bourne movie?
Exactly.
At this point, it's like, it was Jason Bourne. He did Jason Bourne things. Matt Damon. Like, yeah. That pretty much sums it up. I mean, just turn Matt Damon into a verb and you can describe almost any movie. On the scale of Matt Damon-hood, where does this acting
I'd say it was about an 8 on the Matt Damon.
An 8 on the Matt Damon scale, so he's almost full Matt Damon.
Almost full.
You gotta be careful, you never go full Damon. First, we're gonna talk about the movie that probably has the least plot of any movie that played this week, and that would be Sausage Party.
Sausage Party.
That was quite possibly the dumbest thing I have ever witnessed in my life, but it was amazing.
Did the last 2/3 get better?
The last 2/3?
I walked out of this movie.
Really?
This is the second time in my entire life which I've walked out of a movie. The first time, I don't even remember. I just remember having the same feelings. And this time I got up to the point... Actually, we shouldn't go straight into spoilers, but I will say, yeah, about 1/3 into this movie, and... man, I was not enjoying it. I stuck it through Suicide Squad. I did not stick it through Sausage Party.
Really?
It was not for me.
It's not a great movie. It's weird. It's dumb. It's stupid beyond belief. But it's amazing. I don't know why. I sat through it all. I laughed at all the parts where I was supposed to laugh. I didn't laugh at the parts when I wasn't supposed to laugh, and for me, that's what makes a good movie.
That's what you needed. All right.
There was some good, inside shots at the own actors and the actors that were playing each role. There was, I don't know, it was a good, funny, fun time at the movie theater. obviously you're going to see a Seth Rogen movie. You're not expecting it to be Shawshank Redemption. You're expecting a stupid, funny movie, and that's what it was.
I just think it was the writing that killed it for me. I don't know. I don't know where my expectations were. I was expecting it to be stupid. You told me going in, yeah, I saw Sausage Party. You should go see it. It was stupid, but
Yeah.
but I still enjoyed it. So I kind of like gauged my expectations there. But the writing didn't maybe hit home once during one quick little snippet, but like.
Well, I mean, it was a bad storyline. You knew everything that was going to happen right off the bat.
But at what point is it parody or satire, and at what point does it bridge into mediocrity?
I mean, you're definitely not going to classify a movie like Sausage Party as anything more than mediocre. It's just
Because it was trying to have some social satire and some commentary.
it was trying at certain things, but I think at the same time it wasn't trying. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Like it was clearly its intent to have that satire, but it was done so stupidly in a way that you can't help but think that the stupidity was intentional. Which I feel like
guess.
it probably was, because it's Seth Rogen and he was probably high throughout the entire time he was writing that script.
That's plausible.
It's likely. I mean, as much as we can, why not? Let's spoil Sausage Party.
All right, let's dive right in.
Spoiler warning.
So, Jeff, this film opens, believe it or not, in a supermarket
Yes, with sausages.
with not anthropomorphic food, but food that comes to life.
Sentient food.
Much in the way of Toy Story and things, but they come alive while humans are there. So I guess it's not like Toy Story in that regard.
They want you to believe that they're always alive, but we can only tell they're alive when we're high.
Yes.
I think is the gist of it, because the only time that anyone could tell they were alive was when they took bath salts.
Did that happen later on?
Yes.
Okay. So the entire premise or the setup of this movie is that some hot dogs on display want to be inside some buns on display. The hot dogs, of course, being male and
Giggity.
Yeah, and the buns female. So I think you can see where things are set up there, and hijinks ensue.
I suppose you could call it hijinks.
What do you call the setup of this movie?
Bad? I mean,
Show your work.
it wasn't really laying the foundation for a Spielberg plot, but I mean, it was a situation where they could throw in a few jokes and still tell you these are the people.
So right off the bat, the comedy wasn't working for me.
I will say the comedy at the beginning wasn't great.
Yeah.
Like the beginning parts were kind of like it felt forced.
I hope it improves. I hope that I did not give this movie the chance it deserves. But man, when they're focusing on the hot dogs, and yeah, we get it, they're supposed to be dicks. But when you're making girth jokes and you're making length jokes, like yeah, we get it. We've heard these before. We've just never seen it applied to hot dogs. And like,
We have. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be real.
probably.
Everyone
Like, we
makes
probably
that
have.
reference towards hot dogs.
and it's just like, I don't think there was a single joke in which I hadn't heard besides like the food related puns where someone would be like, how about them apples? And then the apple display would be like, yo, you talking about me? And they'd be like, no, not you. And I'm just expecting like a wah wah.
Yeah, just like a saxophone in the background. Or not saxophone, trombone.
There
Aye.
was like a part in the beginning where it kind of spoofs off of Saving Private Ryan, which got a few laughs out of me because it actually got kind of creative with the food gore.
There was a few parts that were like really funny, but they were those parts that were kind of more deeper buried jokes where it took a second and you could tell because the theater would be like, huh. And then they'd like all start laughing. Those parts were probably the best parts of the movie. But again, it's hard to really do much in this Let's Spoil section when the plot of the movie is a giant douche that's high off of grape juice chasing
Yes.
down a hot dog and a bun. And I don't mean that in any sort of Like it's literally a
There's
douche.
no euphemisms there. That's
Like it's
the
not. I'm not
literal
saying
plot.
I'm not saying it's a bad person. It is the feminine hygiene product, and it leaks, and then it
rapes
drinks juice and
out of a
then
juice box.
This somehow translates as steroids to it, and it then goes on a quest to destroy all of the other food in the supermarket.
As you do.
I mean, sure, but there's not really much to say in the Let's Spoil section, because you could piece this all together from watching the first 5 minutes of the movie. And
Yeah.
honestly, the best part of the movie is the last minute and a half.
That's what I've heard.
Where they make fun of the actors in the movie, and they make fun of how bad the movie is, and how intentionally bad it is. And that's probably the best part of the whole thing right there, is if you manage to make it through everything to that part.
Now what you said about the humor, when it's brief and when it gives you a moment, it doesn't give you a moment to think. It gives you a moment to catch up and laugh, and the pacing is still kind of going ahead, and you're really kind of taken along with the energy. That's great. That reminds me of a lot of British comedy, where it's fast and it's witty. When they stay prolonged on a joke, that's when
I never said witty.
Okay, not witty, but I'm trying to make...
There wasn't much
wit
wit involved,
yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
I'm trying to make a connection to good comedy as much as I can.
You're
But
trying to connect Seth Rogen comedy to good comedy.
then the stuff that was falling flat, like you have a bagel and naan bread, and they're fighting, because they're both reflections of Jews and Palestinians.
What was that thing supposed to be? I thought it was like a
naan bread,
falafel or something at first.
No, falafel's full on Jew.
Like I don't know what that is. Like I honestly don't know what it was supposed to be, and they even joke at that at times. They're like, this thing that you're not 100% sure what is.
I think it was naan bread.
I don't know. Like it was
I'm gonna guess.
It was some flattened form of wheat product. Let's
Yes.
go with that.
And if they did a subtle bagel versus naan bread joke, that'd be fine. But they tag along, and they're constantly saying, well, maybe there's enough room on the aisle for both of you. And
if
you came and
saw the end, which I can't talk about because even that would be too far. But oh my god. I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
Moving on from Sausage Party, because
Thank
I think
you.
we've taken about enough time as we need to on that
more than it
movie.
deserves.
We're gonna go into probably the second highest grossing movie of the last 2 weeks that we've since we've done the Suicide Squad one. That would be War Dogs.
Really? Second highest gross?
I think it's the second highest.
Okay.
I could be wrong on those numbers. I do not track box office numbers unless it's for DC movies or Star Wars.
I'll take your word on it.
Um,
I did not see War Dogs, so you're gonna have to give me
It
a rundown.
has made to date 35,217,000 since what? Since September 2nd? No, that doesn't make sense. Since August 19th.
Okay.
Oh, that's as of September 2nd. Okay. I got stupid for a second there. That's as of September 2nd, it has made that much money.
34 million.
Whereas, wow, Sausage Party is blowing it out of the water. Sausage Party is 88 million
Wow.
since August 12th. So 1 week earlier and way higher.
Wow.
And then, guess the Sausage Party's in first since we did the last podcast, which is interesting. So was War Dogs.
Really?
It wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty good. Miles Teller carried it. I love Miles Teller as an actor. I don't think I've seen a role, aside from Fantastic Four, of course, that he was in that I didn't love the acting in, and he just, I don't know, he always steals the show in whatever he's doing.
Does it mainly focus on Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, or are there a lot of...
No,
is there a supporting cast?
But
or?
basically focuses on those two.
Okay.
But Miles Teller is the sort of the main focal point, and Jonah Hill's character is sort of, I don't want to say supporting, but he's got
sidekick.
He's got a lot of screen time. It's just not sidekick, because really Miles Teller's character is more of the sidekick, but it's told from his point of view, and it focuses on him more, and we follow him more. Like when he goes to another country, it follows him to there and does not deal with Jonah Hill as much.
Okay.
But it, I don't know. It was good, but it's still like I left the theater going, yeah, that was a thing that happened. I watched that. It was a movie.
What would you classify it as? Like a thriller, comedy?
Oh God, no.
Period piece?
Period piece to 2012. No. Man, it's hard to fit that in. Maybe sort of a crime, with a
Crime
little bit
drama?
of comedy, and drama seems like a harsh word. Like it wasn't dramatic, really.
Well, isn't it dealing with pretty heavy themes?
Relatively, but like it's basically their weapon smugglers, right? But
Okay.
they're working for the U.S. government legally at first, and I don't know. It's definitely crime something. Comedy, crime, drama.
So
comedic crime drama, I guess. I don't.
Okay.
It's so, hard to tag.
So it's about two men's descent into black market dealing.
Well, let's just jump right into it. Let's spoil War Dogs.
Okay.
So basically they start off just dealing with small-time contracts for the military, smuggling ammunition and weapons from other places to the American military. They get kind of bumped up in the world when they successfully get a shipment of, I forget what exactly the type of weaponry was, but they successfully get it across borders and when the border was closed down by going there themselves and driving it over and surviving and getting it to where it needed to be in that, and all of a sudden now they're thought of higher in the eyes of the military, right?
Okay.
And it was a big time contract sort of thing where they could start making their way a little bit more, and it was a turning point for them. So they started building their company. These two, Miles Teller and Jonah Hill's characters, they start building it, hiring more employees and that, and then up comes a huge military contract for, I think it was $300 million or something, to do a ton of ammo. Now, they find a source for this ammo thanks to, who was it? Hangover.
Bradley Cooper?
Bradley Cooper. Thanks to Bradley Cooper. Not, like, his character, Bradley Cooper, isn't actually a weapons smuggler. I don't think. If he is, he's a good one.
All right.
The U.S. government is now checking into Bradley Cooper's
Sorry, Brad.
travel records. Sorry about that, Brad. I call him Brad.
Yeah, you're close.
We're on a short name basis. Anyway, thanks to him, they source this ammunition. However, they then find out that it is Chinese made, and the U.S. government has an embargo against China, so they don't use Chinese weaponry.
Okay.
So they go through this whole thing where they trick the government, and this is where it becomes illegal, by repackaging the ammunition into other boxes and then selling it to them.
Sounds really exciting.
Then Jonah Hill's character kind of turns on Miles Teller's character.
There we go.
And things go to hell, and Miles Teller's character ends up avoiding a jail sentence by giving more information on Jonah Hill's character and by accepting a bargain, whereas Jonah Hill's character ends up going to jail. The biggest problem with me for this movie was that the ending kind of it makes you start to feel like Miles Teller's character did the right thing, right? Like he backed out, he got away from it, he went through the threats from Jonah Hill's character and that, and got out of it better. He was only under house arrest, he wasn't put in jail, etc., right? But then at the end of the movie, in the very last scene of the movie, he accepts a ton of money from Bradley Cooper's character for not selling him out. And he takes it. And I'm like, that's still illegal. Like, that's still a crime.
Is that ambiguity, or is that just flip-flopping from good to
I don't know. And
very
like,
morally gray?
and I expected, based on the tone of the movie, for him to be like, no, it's like, with all due respect, no, I don't want to take the dirty money or whatever. But he's like, no, got it. Walks out, movie's done. Credits roll. Like,
I guess that's the issue with adapting a true story, but...
Yeah, but like, in the true story, that's what I want to know. In the true story, does that part happen?
And why would he allow that to be portrayed in the film?
Exactly. If that actually happens, like, did they put that in there to make you feel less sorry for Miles Teller's character? Like,
And did Jonah Hill's real-life representation give consent to... Like, is he still in... He's still in prison.
Is he still in prison?
Well, he must be. Like, illegal smuggling? It's got to be more than 4 years,
I'm gonna
right?
find out. Okay. Ephraim Deveroli is his name.
Ephraim Deveroli.
Sounds
like an
go
Italian
figure.
dish.
It's the first Ephraim that comes up on Google.
Wow.
He is 30 years old. He spent 4 years. He was released November 2015.
Wow.
Conviction was for conspiracy.
Just conspiracy? They didn't have anything else on it?
That's all it says, although the movie...
Says otherwise.
Well, the movie portrays it as they have a recording of him kind of admitting everything, but... I mean, it's a movie, right? They take a little bit of...
Liberty with that.
Yeah, a little bit of artistic liberty. Yeah. It doesn't say much about his conviction. Company Deveroli owns, Ammo Works, continued selling arms while he awaited trial for conspiracy. Oh, that's smart. In late August 2008, he pled guilty on one count of conspiracy and was sentenced to 4 years in prison on January 4th, 2011. He was further sentenced for possessing a weapon while out on bond.
Wow.
And had his overall sentence reduced for assisting in the investigation of the offense. His multiple attempts to further reduce his sentence by entrapping other inmates and former business partners into committing crimes failed. No way. His
So he
former
didn't get out
partner,
early for
David
good
Packies,
behavior.
was sentenced to 7 months house arrest.
I'll
This
take the
guy
house
looks
arrest.
nothing like Jonah Hill, and David Packies looks nothing like Miles Teller. Like, at all.
So obviously we don't know the real people or their story that well, but do you think that was a good casting choice?
Based on pictures? No.
Based on pictures? But do
Based
you
on
think-
personality, I have no idea.
Right.
Deveroli has an authored memoir titled Once a Gun Runner. I guess
Is it getting good reviews?
his first method of business once he got out was to write a memoir.
That's quite the...
At age 30. Occupation is listed as entrepreneur.
Not conspirator?
Entrepreneur,
I'd put that on a resume.
author, former arms dealer.
Former arms dealer.
Let's see. Once a Gun Runner. You can buy it on Amazon.
4.
Drum roll, please. $7.69.
Wow. Getting good reviews?
4.5 stars.
Good job, you conspirator. You've done good.
The first suggested thing to on Amazon for it is Powerhouse: The Untold Story of Hollywood's Creative Artists Agency.
Not War Dogs on Blu-ray.
Is it out? It's not out
Probably
on
not,
Blu-ray.
probably
It's
not.
still in theaters. Customer reviews. Oh boy. Oh, there's a 1 star.
Oh.
All you need to know about this book can be inferred from the second sentence, where Ephraim Deveroli describes himself as handsome by anyone's standards.
Wow.
This is the most sickeningly self-serving book I have ever had the misfortune to read. Wow, this guy really digs into him.
Ooh.
He brags that
Is it
the
the other guy?
prostitutes he slept with fell in love with him and refused his money. You would think that the people who helped him edit this book would advise him about how ridiculously unbelievable that is. Wow.
So I'm looking at a picture of him now. By my standards, not very handsome.
He also looks nothing like Jonah Hill. He's the type of guy, though his look does make him look like he's the type of guy that would think he's overly handsome.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the cover of his book, that looks like a guy who's like, I think I'm handsome. But really, I'm just a dick. Really does. There's not any... How is it 4.5 stars, but, like, there's no good reviews?
He probably reviewed it himself. It's
I'm
a conspiracy.
a big fiction reader, but I loved this story. That's a good start. It's a non-fiction book review. Big fiction reader, loved this story. It is well written and multifaceted and a very interesting look at the world of international business and government contracting. A definite recommend. Now, I'm not sure if they meant I definitely recommend it, a definite recommendation.
You get the point.
But
so pick up Ephraim Deveroli.
Ephraim Deveroli's Once a Gun Runner if you want to read a book that is non-fictionally fictional.
It's an interesting outlook, apparently.
This book is a real eye-opener and a must-read in all capitals. I literally experienced every emotion reading this book.
Literally.
And the most mind-boggling part is that it is a true story. Gah! Much better than Arms and the Dudes and very well written. What the heck is Arms and the Dudes? It's amazing to learn of someone so young and eager to succeed, who goes against huge corporations and multinational arms dealers and wins.
What a hero.
Wins.
Wins.
Air quotes. What's even more amazing to learn of the consequences of... Okay, that's a terribly structured sentence. What's even more amazing to learn of the consequences of winning. Forget anything that you thought you knew about this infamous arms dealer and start reading Once a Gun Runner. You won't put it down. 3 people found this helpful.
Do you feel inclined to dive deeper into the worlds of arms dealing, or do you think War Dogs
no.
quenched your thirst for that?
I would be a terrible arms dealer. People would be like, I'd be like, I want to charge you $300,000, and they'd be like, I'll give you $50. I'm like, okay.
You got me.
Like, it's arms dealing.
I'll throw in this red dot.
These guys are heavily armed. I don't want to get into a business where the people that I'm talking to on a daily basis might shoot me with the stuff that I sold them.
Fair. So we can't say much about the book, but would you recommend the movie?
Yeah, I'd say you should go see it. Probably 3.5 out of 5 stars.
So see it on a Tuesday?
Basically, yeah. If you can get in on a $6 Tuesday.
All right, we got a Tuesday recommendation.
Don't see it in AVX. Our Tuesday recommendation of the week.
Goes to War Dogs.
On from there, the movie that I know you've been waiting to get into, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Which I don't get as a title because, like, there's 3 strings that he uses at the end.
Whoa, careful now.
I get the 2 strings.
We haven't given our.
That's not really a spoiler. If you think that is a spoiler, then the spoiler alert.
I don't know. I didn't know what the title meant up until maybe I'm just an idiot and I wasn't focusing, but I didn't know what the title was talking about up until a certain part.
Yeah, and neither did I. Like, I kind of figured it out from knowing what it was, like, halfway through the movie and that. But I mean, it should be 3 strings, because, like,
no, because one of the strings is just.
I get why it's 2, but 3 would be better as a title.
2 parents.
I get why.
3 is a family, but 2 are the parents.
3.
So Kubo and the Two Strings is a stop-motion hybrid animated film from Studio Laika. Think Coraline. Think what was that dog movie? Frankie. It's like Frankenstein. It was a dead dog that got brought back to life.
The dead dog movie.
Yeah, the dead dog movie. It's a lot more lighthearted than it seems. It's like a dark humor.
Although, on that note, you know what I liked about this movie?
What did you like about Kubo?
Not so much about the movie itself, but about the fact that we're at a point now where we can put out a children's animation movie and it weighs on themes that are so heavy as a kid watching. Like,
how many kids in your theater were crying?
No, none, but
every kid in my theater was crying.
I don't think there was a kid in the theater when I watched it, to be honest.
Yeah, I will give a quick disclaimer.
But
if you were a parent listening to this and you were considering watching Kubo and the Two Strings, it does deal with some pretty heavy themes and some pretty dark scenes. And I will say that literally, not figuratively, literally every kid I made sure was crying at
I made
two
sure.
certain parts. I turned around to see whose kid is crying, and then I said, "Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, everyone's kid."
You
is
realize
crying
what
right
that made you sound like, right?
I know.
Made sure
That's
every
why
kid was crying.
That's
Why?
okay.
It's
That's
like
why
you're
I
not
gave it
crying.
some-
Throw salt in their face. Something.
Salt in their face. Do you realize how that makes you sound?
What? How? Okay. Like, what else was I gonna say to make a kid start crying?
Okay,
Like, I'm not...
moving on.
Popcorn, I guess.
Just sandbag this.
Anyway,
Did you enjoy Kubo and the Two Strings?
it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't.
Jeff just gave me the most nonchalant shrug.
It wasn't amazing. It was okay.
I found it fantastic.
Why?
Why? Where do I begin?
At the beginning.
That's a wonderful place to start. Anyway, okay, so Kubo, should I point out its flaws first? Because I will say that one really weird gripe I have with Kubo, and like if I had to pick out gripes, it's that the movie suffers from a way too strong opening. I will say once the film starts to slow down, and should I give the spoiler warning right now? Official spoiler warning? Let's spoil Kubo. All right. After the point...
You gotta say the full name, man. Let's spoil Kubo and the Two Strings. There you go.
Da-da-da. Have a jingle. After the mother is supposedly killed, officially killed... And,
again, air quotes.
Okay. And Kubo is under Monkey's protection. The film slows down there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And
by the opening, I thought you meant like the legit, like first, like before the title
first act
comes up.
The first act.
Yeah, okay, that makes
the first
sense.
act
Yeah.
is very strong.
But I mean, that's a lot of movies. The first act is strong, second act slows down, and third act picks back up.
Yeah, but like in terms of like tone switch as well, like some of the banter between Beetle, who's a samurai who got cursed and turned into a beetle, and Monkey, which is Kubo's protector. She's this little monkey doll that was charmed by Kubo's mother. And turned into a real monkey in order to protect him. The banter between Monkey and Beetle, or Hanzo, I think Hanzo's his real name, but they call him Beetle.
We gave the spoiler warning. It's okay.
Okay, Hanzo. It turns out that the monkey is a remnant of his mother's magic, who has his mother's personalities and memories, and the Beetle turns out to be Hanzo, his father, who is presumed dead, and who is actually a samurai warlord, badass. And the banter between Beetle or Hanzo and Monkey, I will say, kind of slowed down the movie. The script wasn't too good for the banter.
It seemed unnecessary to have them fighting all of a sudden when they just met and like, yeah, I don't know.
And they kind of got along too quickly, like
they kind of forced them into fighting, and then all of a sudden they got along.
Yeah.
There was really only the one scene where they were really going at each other, and it went on for way too long.
Yeah.
And it was on the beach.
On the beach, yes.
It went on for way too long.
Kubo's making a boat out of leaves.
And I don't understand why they were upset at each other. Because, like,
plot.
Nobody really did anything to upset the other one. Like, it was a mundane reason to get upset, and then they just started going off on each other, and then about 4 minutes later, they're happily eating raw fish on a leaf boat.
Yeah.
Like, it's... I don't know.
Yeah. Dialogue and tone for that just kind of seemed... It was passable. It was... I say it was just, like, basic Pixar.
How come he never runs out of paper?
You know, you can get, like, a decent pack at Home Depot.
Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about...
Kubo...
go ahead.
Kubo plays the shamisen, which is a 4-stringed Japanese guitar.
Sure.
He plays it well, and he has some magic in him due to his heritage and his background, which I'll get into later. But due to that magic, he's able to control paper. He can control it just with his mind, but I guess the shamisen helps him focus.
I guess it's like an amplifier or something? I don't know.
Speaking of amplifier, and every time they hit the shamisen, it makes like a rock guitar, like electric guitar noise. That was awesome. That happened a few times when his mother was using it. His mother would like
make a rock guitar noise?
Yeah, her hand would
glow. Because I always remember his thing where it was just like...
Yeah, but her hand would glow blue and she'd just strike a chord and be like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Play through the fire and the flames.
In reality, it would not make that noise, but
Magic.
but magic.
Ancient Japan magic guitars. Yeah. Setting is ancient Japan, and the film opens with Kubo and his mother living in the side of a mountain on the edge of a small village. And Kubo's mother, this is one of the first heavy themes. His mother has, after being wounded, after hitting her head, she has like a form of dementia / Alzheimer's. And there's only like
it's not really clear what exactly.
Maybe it's like a magically induced.
It's like
thing.
at night she's okay, and
yeah, there's only a few hours of the day where Kubo can spend with his mother, which is like the first kind of hard hitting, kind of gets you. And during the day, Kubo earns money by going down into the village and making paper crafts come to life with magic. And he tells stories with these magically flying papers, and he tells stories of Hanzo the samurai. Who strikes down his foes and gets 3 pieces of armor, and the townsfolk love him, and he gets his money, and he goes back up to the mountain, and he needs to go back there before nightfall, or else the Moon King will come for him. And that's what his mother tells him anyway. And you realize that all the stories he's telling to the townsfolk he's getting them from his mother, who tells the stories to him at night, and then she falls back into her dementia / Alzheimer's thing,
which again, not clear.
Which kind of
never made clear.
I don't think it needed to be clear.
Don't you though? Because I was bugged by that.
Were you bugged by that?
It kind of bothered me that I didn't know why.
It showed her hit her head at the beginning, and she does have the eye scar.
Is that supposed to be why that is?
Yeah.
Is that why she's like that?
Yeah, she flew under. She fell off her boat.
I remember that. Yeah. But is that I didn't know. I never realized that was why she was like that.
I thought that was the connection.
I thought it was some kind of magical curse thing. Because like, physically hitting your head, sure, might give you some amnesia or whatever, but it's not going to make you a zombie for 20 out of 24 hours in a day. Like, that's not how that works.
Hey man, ancient Japan, you don't know.
Don't I though?
Probably.
I didn't think the anatomy of head injuries changed that much.
Hey, when you're in stop motion, everything changes.
It has to.
Also, the animation is breathtaking in this.
I don't know about breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
It's pretty good. I mean, the fur on the monkey's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
the paper all like folding in real time and
yeah, that's true. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, I still have no idea why he doesn't run out of paper. We completely skipped over that, but
he has a backpack.
Yeah, but he doesn't have an unlimited source of paper.
Yeah, he only
at
uses
one point
it,
he uses all those bird things, and he uses all of them,
and
only like one of them comes with them.
You can cut like 7 birds out of a piece of paper,
but he doesn't. They all fold from one piece.
Liberties.
And they even the worst part is I would have let it go, except for at one point the monkey says, you can run out of paper or something like that.
Oh, so you wanted that to be like a setup for him running out of paper?
Well, not only that.
Well, he stops. No, doesn't he run out?
I don't think he ever runs out of paper.
At the fortress where they think the helmet's at.
No, he doesn't run out. He never does anything there until. Well, we said spoilers, so until
Monkey
everyone
and
else is dead.
Yeah.
Again, in the course of what is the runtime on this, like 2 hours,
just about, probably a little less.
Well, it's an animated movie, so probably like, I don't know, an hour 40, I want to say. Anyway, unimportant. Over the course of, let's say, an hour and 40 minutes of this movie, he watches his mother die essentially twice, and watches his father die, who he thought was already dead, once. Those are some pretty heavy themes for an animated movie.
But part of the morals by the end is how to deal with loss and how to let loved ones go, which is very heavy themes for children. Twice, yeah. Yeah, all you that have done it once, grow up. Kubo had to do it twice. 2 strings.
4 times, really, because he was told his
twice
father was dead,
parent.
and then, yeah, like, it's kind of messed up, man. But like I said, I'm glad that we're at a point now in 2016 where a kids movie can have themes like that.
I'd say it's returning to that. There were kids movies in the '90s where that would do a pretty good job
I
of
don't know,
scaring
because
you.
I think like Lion King was like really the first thing where it was like,
Probably not
here's Mufasa
Disney too
dying,
much.
and
Yeah.
that was like huge.
That's what most that.
But
That
I
what
mean,
sticks
like
out for most kids.
like a big studio picture. Like obviously, there's small side things that did it in that all the time, and anime stuff in that. But I mean, like an animated motion picture from a big company. We're finally at a point where that can happen. The last few times I've seen an animated movie, there's been some adult themes put in there, like Inside Out.
Yeah.
That was some pretty adult heavy themes. Like that was, especially when they went inside the heads of the parents,
yeah.
and they swapped like the emotions to the lead. I was like, man, that's heartbreaking. But like, most of the few animated movies I've seen over the past little while have been pretty adult theme heavy,
Yeah. The introduction
which
of
I
the,
like because I mean, grow up, kids.
yeah, grow up. What's wrong with you? Stop enjoying childhood.
People die, man. Come on.
Be cynical like us. It's great.
It lowers your expectations so much.
The introduction to Kubo's aunts.
Who are played by Rooney Mara, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow.
Oscar-nominated actress Rooney Mara
Scares children.
has a bit role as ghost things. Ghost ghoulish things, I guess.
Entities, spirits ish.
Yeah, I guess.
These like cloaked geisha mask wearing creatures, and their introduction is so cool. Kubo's not allowed to stay past nightfall, and
Because he's 4.
He spends too much time by his father's grave. Did he know it was his father's grave?
I don't think
beforehand?
it was his father's grave. He was just at a random post where he put his lantern.
He thought it was his father's grave.
I don't think he did. I don't think they had to go, because he didn't go to a grave, like one of the gravestones. He ran off to the side at like one of those pillar things. Like everyone else
He
was
ran
at
off
a
to like a
gravestone.
specific one that was like kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah, but I think that was just because he didn't want to be at the same place as everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think that was... Because why would his father be buried there?
Well, because he used to protect the village before he disappeared.
Did he, though?
Yeah.
I didn't think his father had any relevance to that village, because
Yeah.
his mother swam there with him.
Yeah, because
After
that
the
was
boat
like,
crashed
where
to
the
that
village
island.
was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got lost to get there. I don't think
I
that...
think she was aiming for that specific spot.
I don't think so, man.
All right.
I didn't
agree
get
to
that.
disagree.
I didn't get that from
So
it, if
Kubo's-
it was, and I don't think even still that his father would be buried there, because in order for that to make sense, them getting there, they'd be. I'm assuming the whole deal with the opening thing was that they were escaping right after his father had been killed, right? Which would mean they're getting away from somewhere to end up at that place, and they didn't have his father's body with them, so.
Well, they were getting away when Kubo was still a baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. And that's, assumedly, when Kubo's father died, was when they decided to run, or when she decided to run with the baby.
Yeah.
right?
So the village at one point, if they
But
went
the
up there-
body would never be there. The
yeah,
grave
but it's
would
like
never be
kind of
there.
missing in action type honorary.
I don't think so. Man.
Gravestone.
I don't think it was ever his father's grave that he was at. I
Right? They
think
found
it
a
was just
body. They
random
couldn't
thing.
tell the dental records because ancient Japan and stop motion dementia.
Why didn't they just make the dental records out of flying magical paper that never runs out?
Stop motion Alzheimer's is officially a thing. So, so the introduction to the sisters, Kubo is off talking to a pillar, which holds no significance whatsoever. And
I win.
people are lighting lanterns to honor the dead, and they
To speak to the
To
dead. I think
speak to
is
the dead.
goal for whatever reason.
yeah, that's I guess their beliefs, and they set the lanterns down the river into the night, and he lights his own lantern expecting to hear his father's voice, but he hears nothing, so he kind of crushes the lantern and chucks it into the water, and then he looks up and sees the moon and realizes he spent way too much time trying to talk to his dad, and now it's nighttime and he's in danger now, and he looks over at the water and all the lanterns one by one get snuffed out as the camera sweeps by them, and then it just focuses on this figure across the lake and it goes Kubo, and then simultaneously every kid in the theater starts whimpering, and Nothing sells the introduction of a creepy villain like everyone crying. I will say that helped
By everyone,
sell
he
that
means
villain.
he cried.
Yeah, I cried as well because I'm a child.
He was bawling his eyes out in the middle of a theater. All the kids were going, "Why are you crying? Like, stop that! You're being annoying."
Be a cynical adult.
The kids were like, "Can you leave if you're gonna cry?
Please?
Like, we're trying to watch a movie."
Trying to watch Kubo.
That's how Sam got kicked out of Kubo and the Two Strings.
And then I made every kid in the theater cry by throwing salt
In
in
their
their face
face.
to get revenge.
Comes
How
in with
dare
a
you.
bag of salt. Starts throwing it around.
How do you know what I do?
See, in the States, you hear of people breaking into theaters with guns and
Nah,
that. In Canada,
no,
we didn't
parents
throw salt
on
people.
children. Salt of the earth.
Oh, God.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Probably. I don't know if I really. I guess probably on the ship when the monkey was fighting with
Fighting on the wreckage of the
her
leaf ship?
sister, or whatever, Rooney Mara, in ghost mask.
Charlize Theron fighting Rudy Mara.
Charlize Theron as a monkey fighting Rooney Mara with a ghost mask.
That's what everyone's asked for.
Sounds like someone's fantasy somewhere. Not mine, but yeah, I guess that, because I don't know, it was pretty cool with the ship breaking down. I don't understand why the ship didn't break down faster, but
Magical leaves.
still, he was unconscious and he was the one who made the leaf ship.
Why it was breaking down?
Yeah, but it should have just went.
There's magic residue.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Why can you suspend your disbelief for Suicide Squad, but a kid not running out of paper in a studio like a film? It's too much. How dare they not explain it?
Paper is an expendable resource, and we need to think about saving the trees, man.
Whoa. This is a segment we like to call
Jeff
Jeff's PSA.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
If I can't choose the entire opening act, maybe the realization of what the two strings were, which ended up being like a lock of his mother's hair and his father's bowstring, fixing the two broken strings on his guitar and him using that to play music.
And a piece of his own hair, which
And
is why I think
was it a piece of
three
his own hair?
strings. Yeah, he pulled out a piece of his own and put on there. Too.
Oh, right, and there was the one
Which
original string.
miraculously grew. It was really weird because his hair wasn't that long. Like, it was long, but not that
He had it
long.
tied back.
And he pulled it out and went, and it just like,
Yeah, man, Japanese hair.
yes, Japanese hair is more
It's elastic.
elastic, has higher elasticity than regular hair.
They're doing the herbal.
Essence?
Yes.
I don't think we can say that.
This podcast is sponsored by herbals.
We said it separately, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
All right. I gave it up for the last one. Rating.
Rating for Kubo. I want to give it a 10, but besides some pacing issues that I had with the beginning/ending of the second act, and no, the voice acting was pretty top notch, except for McConaughey. McConaughey
Really?
just, I don't know, he's just kind of just felt Pixar-ish. Everyone else felt like this, not whimsical, but everyone else gave this like energy.
I didn't
and,
mind McConaughey
and flow.
But
I just heard McConaughey.
It's how he was supposed. Well, I mean, it's a pretty distinctive voice.
And it's like you're a badass samurai warrior who's cursed, but you're like, hey, what's going on? I'm Hanzo.
Well, because that's the whole deal. He's supposed to be humorous, lighthearted,
type. I guess
person.
comic relief
to balance out.
when I want the
Charlize
movie
Theron.
when I want the movie as dark as possible. I'm gonna look down on any comic relief. So I might be being too harsh on that. Yeah. So besides some pacing issues, I really didn't have much problem with the film. So, that's something I'm probably gonna rewatch like once a year, once every 2 years.
Once every 2 years.
I'm gonna give this my gold star rating. My analogy rating would be Oh man, I'm really bad at these analogy ratings. Let's go with a nice cup of tea on a nice winter morning.
On a nice winter morning.
Yeah.
Right. Well then, I will go with. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 too. Just like the last
same
one.
as War Dogs.
Same as War Dogs, because they're on the same level in my mind. I mean, I don't know. There was just certain parts of it where I was like, eh.
Now, is 7 your? This is what I hate about numerical scores. Are you kind of doing this the school way, where 7 is your perfectly average?
5. I'm doing
5 is your perfectly
I said
average.
3.5 out of 5.
Right. Yeah,
So
but
3
double it to 10 or out of 10.
Out of 10.
You're giving it 70%.
2.5 would be average.
2.5 would be average.
3.5.
Yeah. Okay. So slightly above, or a little bit above average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas Suicide Squad was like a 2.5.
Okay. Jeff, you didn't rate Sausage Party.
Well, I mean, can I just give that one an asterisk because it's not.
Sure, give it.
Like
I'll give it.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5 for comedy, 1 out of 5 for making sense,
making a film,
and have it kind of balance out to like 2.5, 2.
Yeah.
Out of 5.
And I promise I'll try and sit through entire movies. I promise not to walk out on any more movies.
I mean, Sausage Party it's never a movie that we were going to spend eons
there were no promises
talking
on
about.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of hard to do a movie review of a movie like Sausage Party.
Yeah.
So it's not really that upsetting. Let's look into some things that are coming up.
What's upcoming?
I think the biggest one, at least in terms of money spent on it, would be Sully, which is coming up, and it's a book based on Chelsea Sullenberger, who's I think it's off of a true story. I don't know how true it's going to be based off of, but it's based on the book Highest Duty, about a guy who something broke on his plane and he had to land it in the Hudson River.
Sounds like a short movie.
Well, I think the movie more bases around the lawsuit that followed.
All right.
I think it was pretty sure it's a lawsuit that follows. But it's got Tom Hanks, and for the fans of Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight, it's got Aaron Eckhart in it.
Yes.
That's pretty much all of the big name actors, but when you've got to pay Tom Hanks, it's
true. You gotta.
But I think it looks like it could be a decent movie, and then again, most Tom Hanks movies end up being good.
Bridge of Spies.
Bridge of Spies was alright. I didn't dislike it.
Okay.
It wasn't fantastic, but I didn't dislike it.
Right. So you're looking forward to Sully.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll probably see it
on a
some
Tuesday,
point, but maybe might see it on a Tuesday.
Bridge of Spies gets our
next week's
future.
Next week's Tuesday recommendation is Sully. Maybe I'll let you know once I actually see it.
It's on the pedestal. We'll see if it knocks itself off.
Other things coming out this week are a movie called When the Bow Breaks, which looks weird. Its line on IMDb is: a surrogate mom for a couple becomes dangerously obsessed with the soon-to-be father.
Is this a big movie coming out?
I don't know. It's second on IMDb's list,
Okay.
and it says it's a drama horror mystery. So, if ever there was a combination of things that I didn't want to see in a movie that's made after 1997, that would be it. Other than that, there's not a lot of big stuff coming up soon. We're kind of at the point where the summer has ended, the fall is beginning, and people don't really see as many movies. So we're at that fall-over point between now and awards season when stuff starts getting...
So you're not looking forward to the Blair Witch sequel? Cautiously optimistic? No? Nothing?
Not really, no.
No?
I mean...
Did you see the first two?
I saw the first one.
Do you know of the second one?
I don't.
Blair Witch Book of Shadows is a tire fire. So we'll see if this one brings it back up to legendary status. Because when Blair Witch came out, I don't like the movie personally, but
I don't like it either.
It got huge following.
People loved it. It was a big cult favorite.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't even know where they're going with this one. I don't know if it's found footage.
I'm not a fan of the found footage style.
It's what started it, pretty much.
The only fan footage movie that I ever really liked was Chronicle.
Chronicle, okay, yes.
Which was a pretty damn good movie, which is why I was so upset by Fantastic Four. But that's really the only found footage movie I've ever actually enjoyed. The rest of them just, there's something about the camera bouncing around and that while I'm watching the movie where I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah. Cloverfield made a lot of people sick in theaters, which was awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm as much as I would like to be a fan of Cloverfield, not really.
Okay. We got Snowden, the story of Edward Snowden, famous for WikiLeaks. He's being played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That comes out on the 16th, and that actually looks. I saw a trailer for it. It looks like a decent thriller, so I might partake in that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see too many things that I'm particularly looking forward to, but if things get recommended to me, then I may just make time. We've got a Magnificent Seven remake, so look forward to that. Chris Pratt's in it. Everyone loves him.
Well, it's true. Everyone loves Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's great in everything.
America's sweetheart.
I mean, it's true, though. I mean, it's Chris Pratt, man. Have you ever not enjoyed him in something?
Good point.
He's just a likable, enjoyable person. No matter what role it is he's playing, you just kind of gravitate towards him. He has a kind of way of making you feel sorry for him on, like, even when he's playing, okay, it's hard to describe. Even when he's playing a character that is like a smart character or whatever, you feel like he's playing a dumb character just because of the way he delivers certain things.
And I think just like an exposure to him is going to give you that, oh, it's Chris Pratt. Don't take him seriously. Like, has he been in anything serious?
I mean, you could say Jurassic World intended to be serious.
I just think of him, I just think goofy.
But like, yeah, but that's fine. That's his thing. Like, that's...
But like, I don't know. I don't think it's a shortcoming, but it's...
I mean, that's... I don't know. I'm fine with that, though. I mean...
You're all right by us, Chris Pratt.
Like, not everybody can cross genres. Like,
True.
It takes a really good actor to be like Jack Nicholson, which, again, isn't really crossing genres. It's just playing varying levels of craziness.
Yeah.
Playing various levels of Jack Nicholson.
Chris Pratt, if you want to hang out with us and Brad, then just stop on by. Bradley Cooper. How could you forget?
Man, I don't know. I know so many Brads.
How dare you? They're not interchangeable.
Brad Cooper.
Dude, he's an arms smuggler. He's gonna come after you.
How many? If there is any amount of interest in this podcast that piques Bradley Cooper, then that's fine by me, because
next week's special guest is Bradley Cooper, so look forward to that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bradley Cooper, if you're listening right now, you want to be on this podcast, and record it in my basement in Canada.
You're shattering the illusion.
You can
don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
You can drop me a line and we'll get you on. I promise you. You can have your agent speak to my agent.
Bradley Cooper, if you want to be on the podcast, send us a letter via Fox Courier, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Send us a letter via pigeon. Carrier pigeon. Yes. That's how I communicate.
Race the pigeon and the fox, and we'll see which wins.
I should just tweet him now. Be like, yo,
Brad.
You want to be on a podcast, Brad? I wonder if people call him Brad. Like, I feel like that'd be weird.
Do you think it's a serious guy?
Yeah, like to call someone of actual prestige Brad.
Oh, now you're just being star.
No, like he has a level of prestige. Like like if you're calling like your friend at school Brad, sure, right?
Mr. Cooper.
But someone you're supposed to like have at least a bit of respect for.
Even Bradley's pretty nonchalant. Yeah, I guess just Mr. Cooper.
I'd probably go with Bradley. But even it sounds weird though.
All of his his entire name is lighthearted.
You have to say the whole thing, Bradley Cooper. You can't say...
Hi, Mr. Bradley Cooper.
See, that's the only way it sounds professional, is if you say his full name. Because Bradley, meh. Bradley Cooper. Now it sounds like a Bond villain.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Let me reveal my master plan to cut you in half in some way.
Speaking of Bond, Daniel Craig signed on for 3 more Bond movies? 2 more. He signed on for more. 2 or 3. For a hell of a lot of cash. So if you are a fan of Daniel Craig in the Bond films, you can look forward to that. I say bring back Pierce Brosnan.
It says offered $150 million for 2 more movies.
When
it
was
doesn't
that put
say
out?
accepted 9 hours ago.
9 hours? Oh, okay. So not accepted yet. Rumored.
I don't think he was adamant about not wanting to play James Bond anymore.
Would you change your mind for 150?
Daniel Craig has reportedly been offered a staggering $150 million to shoot 2 more James Bond movies. The 48-year-old British actor who has played the super sleuth since 2006 has yet to confirm his departure from the role, yet famously said he would rather slash his wrists than reprise the part.
Wow.
Sources tell Radar Online that Sony bosses are desperate to keep Daniel in the picture for a further 2 films in order to phase in a younger, long-term successor. Murmurs have been circulating Hollywood for some time, suggesting Daniel's replacement is imminent, with many insiders tipping the likes of Idris Elba or Tom Hiddleston to nab the iconic role. Yet insiders claim Sony are determined to keep the first blonde Bond, journalism people, in the role following his 4 turns as the spy in Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre.
How many films did Pierce Brosnan have? We had Die Another Day. We had World Is Not Enough. We had Tomorrow Never Dies. GoldenEye. Either 4 or 5.
Let's see. Okay. Pierce Brosnan. GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day.
4?
4.
Okay, so he's on par with Daniel Craig. That's all I care about.
And Dalton 2.
Poor Dalton.
Who
do you want to see as Bond?
Oh, bring back Dalton, man.
What?
Timothy. No, I want to see Elba. I think Elba would be a great Bond.
He's
so suave.
Think of anyone on the top. I can't think of who that is on the top of my head, unfortunately.
Can I get Idris Elba?
How do you spell that?
God, Idras, I think.
Idris
Elba. The guy from Pacific Rim.
Oh, the first black Bond.
That's what I mean, yeah. Like,
come on, journalists. Journalists would eat that up.
He's the most suave person on the planet right now. Like, seeing him as Bond would be so perfect.
I'd see that.
It would be like Sean Connery Bond again. It'd be a suave, debonair
beating women?
Bond. Well, I mean, a little bit. But... And then Roger Moore. Wow. 1, 2,
have a Bond
3,
compilation.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Roger Moore got 7. How many did Connery get?
Movies. I want to say 6. I'm about to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6.
Wow, good guess.
Technically 7, but one of them is not official.
What?
Never Say Never Again is not an official member of the Bond timeline, apparently.
Why'd it get kicked out?
I think it's because it's not produced by Eon. I think, probably.
If it has the Bond walk by the camera and then shoot...
Also, it's because
then it's a Bond film.
He was Bond from 62 to 71, right? And then Lazenby took over one movie. And then... No, he was 62 to 67 was Connery. Lazenby took over for one movie, and then they brought Connery back for 71 and got rid of Lazenby because he was James Lazenby. And then from 73 to 83 it was Moore, and then they brought Connery back in 83 for one movie, which was the Never Say Never Again.
Okay. Who was in Moonraker? Was that...
Moonraker was Roger, I think? Roger Moore, yeah.
Then which one was Lazenby in?
Lazenby was on Her Majesty's Secret
Oh,
Service.
right. Okay, yeah. Okay. We have Lazenby, if you want to be on the podcast, just let us know.
Hold on.
Anyone who we shame, anyone who we wrong.
We'll get George Lazenby and Bradley Cooper on the podcast.
Say George Lucas.
George
get up and leave.
George Lazenby, Bradley Cooper, and who's it? Chris Pratt. They can all come on,
and the arms dealer. I've already forgotten his name.
I would rather not. Ephraim something.
Ephraim Deveroli. That's it.
Ephraim Deveroli.
Ephraim Deveroli.
He's not. He's not coming.
But he's handsome by anyone's standards.
Oh yeah. We'll just argue with him about how handsome he is for an hour.
He'd love that. That's so him.
Just tell by looking at him. That's the way he is. Anyway, that has been Let's Spoil for this week. We will get back to you as soon as there is something interesting enough for us to review. And be sure to get on spoiling it for you as soon as possible.
As we do.
I'm Jeff Blagden.
And I'm Sam Houpt.
We'll live to spoil another day.